I know it's here somewhere. Finally. Oh, it's time for the doctor. You're listening to Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. Take it away, Doctor.
Well, it's that time again, and the doctor is in. It's time once again for Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. And it's been an interesting week this week, as it usually is. I always seem to be saying that. That's because I have a lot of interesting weeks, and days, and months, and years. Oh well, lest I get philosophical, let us move on, shall we? We are proud members of the Tech Podcast Network, techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's right here on Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. Yes, we're also proud members of the International Association of Internet Broadcasters. Yes, indeed. So, I have a confession to make. I was scammed. I hate to say that. Dr. Bill scammed. You know, the old man of the internet scammed. So, I share my embarrassment and my sad revelation with you, because that's what I do. I embarrass myself in front of millions of people. Because that's my job. Okay, anyway, how many of you, quick quiz here, you can raise your hand, how many of you have seen the silly TV ads with Beezid.com, Beezid.com, as it says there on the screen, and you said to yourself, whoa, is this ever a scam? Yes, indeed. And so did I. So don't think that I'm an idiot. Okay? I saw the TV ad and I said, what a bunch of maroons. I mean, even the real people they had talking about how they won an iPad for $15, you know, they look like the kind of folk you probably would not buy a beachfront property in Utah from. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, of course I knew it was a scam. Absolutely. No question. Okay. But then, you see, it gets worse. Then I read an article online saying, yeah, you thought this was a scam, but here's a way to scam the scammer. Ha ha ha. The article purported this. They said, well, you see, the way BZ works is they sucker you in. And in order to sucker you in, you get your first bid, you see. You win it. And then, of course, you're it's like, you know, crack cocaine. You're addicted at that point, and then they just soak you for lots and lots of money. So the article said, if you just sign up and you just do your first bid on something you really want, then you can get it for a discount. And I thought, how clever. And so I did. Now, yes, I lost money. I lost more than $20, but less than $100. I'm not going to say how much, because it's already embarrassing. You see how red I'm turning? It's already embarrassing enough to even tell you about this whole incident. But I did my first bid, which took a while, because the number kept changing. You know, it kept saying so many seconds until the bid closes, but then every time somebody would bid, it would go up, you know, like 15 more seconds. And so you just sit there for a long time, waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally it got down to where the little thing came up and said, closing, warning, and you hit the button. And I thought to myself, well, since I'll win my first bid, I'll win this tablet and I'll move on. No. I didn't win the bid, and so all the money was lost. Now, some of you would say, but Dr. Bill, it's just a gambling site. That's all it is. I don't gamble. I don't like gambling. I don't like wasting my time sitting there clicking on a button over and over for no apparent reason. I was not having fun. I've seen it billed as an entertainment site. It's not fun. Okay, it's just frustrating. So here's what I discovered. This is how devious the internet is. This is how subtle and evil things are out there. The article on this particular site purporting that you always won your first bid on a site that is obviously a scam was, wait for it, a scam. The article saying that it's a scam was a scam. There you go. Hence my warning to you. First of all, bzid.com is completely evil in every way and will steal all your money that you throw at it. And they have wrapped themselves in so many legal entanglement language things that you can't get it back. So, obviously avoid them like the plague. By the way, I wrote them an email that said I was going to do this as a public service to let everyone know that they're evil, okay? So consider yourself part of a massive plan on my part to get back at them. Tell your friends. Okay? So obviously they're a scam. They always were a scam. They always will be a scam. That's obvious. But what is not quite so obvious is the scam article that led me to go there. I mean, if you think about it, it's amazing marketing because it gets people who think I'm going to scam the scammer by winning my first bid and then not using it anymore. And then you get sucked in to do it one time and they get some money out of you. Calm, relaxing, calm. Yes, so I was scammed. I'm a human after all. I'll have to get over it. Anyway, I hope you're having a chuckle on at my expense. But now at least you know that articles that purport to be articles against scammers can also be scam articles. Proving once again that the internet is quintessentially evil. Okay. Enough of that. Boy, am I embarrassed. Okay. First article this week is on the old blog. The blog, of course, being drbill.tv, drbill.tv. The blog, the aforementioned blog, which, of course, is filled with wisdom and knowledge. Now more so than ever. Anyway, first article, Android competition for Chromebooks? Now you know that I love my Chromebook, my Acer Chromebook C720p with the touch screen. Yes. Totally rocks. I love it. Use it a lot. Matter of fact, I'll share with you something about it here in just a moment. Try to remember to do that. Remind me, Fred. Fred. Hello, Fred. Yes. Not paying attention again. Hopefully he will remind me. Anyway, there is a new competitor to the Chromebook that is being designed by a French consumer electronics company, Archos. A-R-C-H-O-S. It's called... What's it called? The ArcBook. Yes. The ArcBook. And is it going to threaten sales to Chromebooks? He wonders. The whole idea is it's a $170 kind of a notebook that runs on Android. Okay? So, it has, let me read you the specs of it here. It has a dual-core ARM Cortex-A9 1.2 gigahertz processor, has a 10.1-inch capacitive multi-touch screen, so it is multi-touch screen like my C720p Chromebook. Okay, so that's pretty amazing for $170 for a touchscreen. It runs Android 4.2. It has a gig of RAM. It has 8 gig solid-state drive. It has a full-size USB port, a micro SD card slot, a full-size keyboard, and it says it has enough battery power for more than 10 hours of continuous use, which would make its battery life on par with a Chromebook. So it truly is similar to a Chromebook, except that it's not fully tied to Google like a Chromebook is. Chromebooks, rely on the Chrome operating system and all the features of the Chrome operating system to empower it. Okay? So this is more just straight Android. Okay? And so for people that maybe think that Chrome is the devil, like Jim Bob, not his real name at work, who really believes Chrome is the devil, horns and all, perhaps this is something that would be of interest to him. Now, I love my Chromebook, and it has proven itself to be massively useful for things that you wouldn't expect it to be useful for. Like, for instance, here's the thing that Fred fortunately did not have to remind me about. You can go back to snoozing, Fred. Fred, of course, is my imaginary friend. Say hello, Fred. He always says that. Anyway. Hi, Fred. What a character. Anyway. So what he was going to remind me about that he didn't have to because I remembered is that I had a 120 gig USB card stick. You know what I'm talking about. It's a stick. And so, I don't have one handy, otherwise I'd show you, but you know what it is. It's 120 gig. I mean, dude, 120 gig, you don't want to lose that. You know what I'm saying? So, I had an occasion to format it as a Mac device in the Mac Mini that I have, that I use at the church where we do videoing. Okay, so I could bring videos home with me. And then I could either read it on my MacBook Pro, or I could read it on my computer, my regular Windows PC, because I have Mac Drive version 9 installed. So I can read it, okay? Well, for whatever reason, it would not read. It wouldn't read using Mac Drive. It wouldn't read at all. It was like it wasn't even there. You push it in to the USB slot on any device, and it just kind of went blink, blink, blink. And that was it. And I was like, oh, dude. And I couldn't format it because it didn't show up. I went into Windows, managing the system, and went into the drive management, and it didn't show up there. So you can't format it. And I was like, oh, man. Then I had an inspiration. I thought to myself, let's put it in the Chromebook. I put it in the Chromebook. Now get this. It cannot be read by a Mac. It cannot be read by a PC. I put it in the Chromebook, and it read the drive. And there were my files. So it not only read it when it wouldn't be even seen by any other computer, but it read it and the files were there. So I copied them up to my Chrome drive, which of course I have 125 gig there because I bought the Chromebook. I got an extra 100 gig. So I copied the files up there, even though they were large video files, and I had my files, and I thought, well, good, now I'll format my memory stick. And then I thought to myself, oh man, I can't format the memory stick because it can't be seen by my PC. But I thought, ooh, I know. I'll format it right here on the Chromebook. So within File Manager, if you use 2 fingers, you can go click, and that will do a right click. 2 fingers on the touchpad gives you a right click. It opens up the right click, and there's format. So I format it. It formatted as a 120 gig drive, and now it's visible on PCs and everything else as a 128 gig thumb drive. So how cool is that? Chromebooks even fix things that aren't visible to PCs and Macs. And you know why, of course. Because Chromebooks are based on the Chrome operating system, which is really Linux, and Linux is awesome. Just saying. So there you go. There's a fix for you if you ever run into a USB stick that is being evil and not showing up. There you go. Alrighty, next item. Mozilla is adding Chromecast, not Comcast. Comcast is an evil company that does, you know, TV cabling. Yes. But no, this is Chromecast. They're adding Chromecast support to Firefox. How cool is that? At least that's the rumor. You heard it here. And so that would be awesome because right now you can only Chromecast from Chrome. That kind of makes sense. But now the Chromecast is becoming so popular that Mozilla Firefox is adding it in, which I find pretty doggone awesome on a lot of fronts. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Whoa! Yes, indeed. It's time for the Geek Software of the Week. Geek Software of the Week is an interesting story. Yes. I got an email this morning. This is a Saturday morning as I record the show. And this morning when I got up, I had an email. It's a neat email. I like this email. From a listener named Richard. I'll just say that. Not where he's from or anything like that, but anyway. Don't want you going out and harassing him because he watches Dr. Bill. You know what I mean? Okay. So anyway, he says, "Greetings, benevolent silicon gray beard dude. Already, I like this guy. Because he has captured the essence of Dr. Bill through the use of the English language." Yes. Greetings, benevolent silicon gray beard dude. How's that for a suck-up intro? I like this guy. I'm Richard from somewhere. I've been listening to your netcast for a few years now. I started playing with Linux in 1999 and made the mostly full switch about 10 years ago. Dude. I keep Windows around for doing my taxes. Yuck. Gotta agree with him there on both points, Windows and taxes. Anyway, the backstory begins here. Anyway, I've been using a couple of external drives for my backup needs over the years, and my backup regimen consists of, get this, whenever I have a boring evening and think about it. So, not often enough. And that's about the way it is for most folks, you know what I mean? And most folks don't even do that much. Anyway, what I am embarked on is to put a box in my shed in the backyard. I have to run power in a Cat 5 or possibly Wi-Fi to beam data. Dude. Set up an FTP server and send weekly backups off-site, as it were, in the event of the house burning down. Planning for doom. Each device in the house will have its own home folder. For my wife's Win 7 computer, I propose to use Corbian. Corbian is Windows software that allows you to do backup. Now, I went to the Corbian website and looked at it, and basically they say that the guy who's maintaining it is tired of doing it. He's done it for 13 years, and he's like, dude, I am tired of this. So he wants to sell his source code. Now, he released an earlier version to open source, so, you know, he's okay. But this latest version, he's basically saying, I want to sell the source code and essentially retire. Now, you know, maybe not retire permanently, but retire from keeping up the project. So anyway, but for right now, what he has out there is free. And so that's what he's using. I propose to use Corbian to zip and encrypt the documents and downloads folder before sending incrementals to the shed. I like this, a computer shed. It's kind of like a Radio Shack, except it's really more of a computer shed. Anyway. However, for Linux, I have yet to find an automatable GUI tool to do such a thing. My R&D box currently has a minimal install of Debian, to which I've installed WebMin, so I can access it remotely to manage files, manage Pro FTP and SSH. Next project. Like this guy. Really cool what he's doing here. I did not encrypt home directories or file system because I want to run it headless. So if it reboots for whatever reason, I have to log back in to allow TrueCrypt to unlock. The real question begins here. Anyway, I tried Googling your GSOTWs, Geek Software of the Weeks, and the series of pipes, but don't seem to be finding a Corbian-like Linux app. Do you have suggestions? The features of Corbian I like are simple, incremental zips, encrypted zips, schedulable, and of course free as in coffee. I like that, free as in coffee as opposed to free as in beer, because I drink coffee, but I don't drink beer, so that works. Just saying. Anyway, then I'll address backing up my wife's Android phones and tablets. Kindest regards, Richard. Okay, Richard, well, I sent you response emails, 2 of them. The first one I said this: thanks for watching, listening. I like your intro to the message. I mainly have set up rsync. Rsync is software that is available for Linux. There is also an rsync for Windows, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you know. But anyway, set up rsync to back up from Windows to Linux and from Linux to Linux. You can go to http://rsync.samba.org to go find about rsync. Okay. That is what I have used in the past particularly. Okay. Then there's a big-time backup system, mainly for system admins, called Bacula. Bacula, blah, blah. Yes. It's really full-featured, and it's at bacula.org. Then, however, I think this may be the choice for what you're doing. It is simple and easy, and that is launchpad.net/sbackup, which is simple backup. It's called simple backup because it's simple backup, and it's got a GUI. So, I think that may be your best option. Then I followed up with another email that said this: I found this one, and I thought it would be good because it is for Linux and Windows, so you could use the same software in both worlds. But I tried to install it on Windows 7 64-bit and found it to be a pain to install. You had to install like Python and then Python modules and then this and then that, and it's just a lot of trouble. Anyway, not saying it might be worth it, but yeesh, what a pain. It's at www.defingo.com/OSS for open source software /FW backups. So FW backups I found unusable to install, but if it did, and if I bothered to take the time to work out all the little kinks, it looked like it might be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking that SBackup from launchpad.net is probably the better way to go for simple, quick, you just do it type stuff. Okay? So, now, rereading the email, I saw that you wanted to do encryption and things and zipping. I don't know if it does that. I'd have to go back and look it up. But hopefully this will get you started down the road. Okay? So anyway, an embarrassing story followed by some news, followed by a little bit of news, followed by embarrassingly missing out some of the information I should have looked at before I did my searching for Geek Software of the Week. But the Geek Software of the Week this week is all of those backup options that I gave you. Yes! So, remember until next time that the doctor is out of here. Dr. Bill, the Computer Curmudgeon, is a production of drbillbailey.net with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining.